welcome again to the Test Podcast. And Pepijn, welcome to stage again.
Yeah, thank you.
Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Pepijn Paap. Probably a very difficult name for all our international guests here, but I'm the subject matter expert on SAP testing for Sogeti Netherlands. Working in the field for more than 20 years in SAP projects. Happy to talk with you about all your challenging questions.
Yeah, and it's about SAP testing, and it's been a topic for some years.
Definitely.
And it will be for some years ahead, because SAP has decided that all their clients should move to another version. It's the S4 HANA.
Exactly.
And that could be done, as I understand, could be done in the different pathways. We're talking about brownfield and greenfield and SDT and so forth.
Yeah, there are many solutions here. So in the previous podcast, we already mentioned the current version of SAP will be end of life or end of support 2027. That means that all SAP customers needs to migrate to the S4 platform. That can be in multiple ways. That can be via greenfield, a brownfield, a bluefield, and I can go into details, but they can also choose, do you want to go to the cloud? Do you want to stay on premise? Do you want to go to a private cloud? Do you want to be to the SAP cloud? Or you want to go to Azure or the Google cloud, whatever. So there are a lot of strategical decisions for companies to make to move from your current SAP version to that S4 version on what platform you want to do. And with that, a lot of business risks are rising and upcoming, and we need to test that. We need to validate it. Because, as you know, SAP in many organizations is the heart of the organization. The main business processes, your HR, your finance, maybe your sales processes, your logistics, warehouse management, or transport processes are all flowing and running through the SAP system. If you take out that heart and you put it in the cloud, are you really sure it's still working?
No.
Yeah. So that's a potential risk for a lot of these organizations. So it's not like a shift or a shift and a lift and I put it in the cloud.
I will not blame SAP, but they have tools for this. Yes, you have your installation there, and you press a transfer tool to this environment. Why do they need you and quality?
Yeah.
And
well, if you can show me that solution, then I would love to use that. No, I've not. Yeah, on paper, yes. You know, you press a button, especially if you go as is, so you don't do any new features or functionalities. Then it might be a little bit more easier. But as you also change to the S4 functionalities, you have a whole new database and a whole new business model, but it's beyond it. So your business processes need to be configured again. Of course, now you can migrate and automate a lot of these things, but are you then really sure it still works fine? So you can still, your salary will still be paid, or that one order you placed is still delivered at your front door. So you need to validate if the configuration is still done correct. That SAP is working, without a doubt, because we are 400,000 organizations worldwide who are working with SAP. But that specific configuration for your organization or your business part or your sales procedure, is that still working? We need to validate it. And in this nowadays complex landscape with billions of integrations to third parties, legacy systems and whatever. So data is flowing from one system to another system. Okay, now we built a new system. We also have to rebuild all these interfaces. Is the connection there? Is the data flow seamlessly?
do you have any case or stories around how a client did moving from one version to the new version?
No, actually, I have some experience also with some clients, and I'm coaching some of my colleagues who are actually in a project. They do for a big, heavy transport organization. They now do a greenfield implementation. So actually, the old solution, but not SAP, but it was all Excel sheets, Word documents. No, it was crap. And now they choose actually to go to S4. So it's a greenfield implementation. You can use the Activate model from SAP. It's a methodology built in phases and stages where you do some fit gap analysis, you gather your requirements, then you start building, configuring, and eventually you also need to test. But when do you want to test? When do you want to build in your quality engineering? And I always say, don't build in your quality engineering as soon as I need to test. and start all the way with gathering your requirements, because there you can already fine tune and set quality gates, quality criteria. What do you need to do? How do you need to do it? And make these quality gates formal. So like a permit to design, a permit to operate, a permit to build. These are strict quality gates. You need to discuss with all your stakeholders again within SAP. So many streams, finance, HR, supply chain. All these stakeholders needs to be aligned, and they need to agree with, this is the approach, this is how we measure quality, and this is the minimum level of quality we need when we go to production.
And to me, it doesn't sound like it's a one role. It's just not test or test leaders. It's a business development and business transformation.
Again, I can talk for an hour about this. There are so many stakeholders involved. Of course, you have your project organization, but you have your functional consultants, you have your key users, you have your module specialists like finance specialists. Maybe you have an accountant. You have your key organizations. You have stakeholders maybe outside the organization because you have the legacy systems. If you do this open heart surgery, all these stakeholders again needs to be aligned.
But is it one topic or some specific thing that you hear again and again around SAP testing?
Well, there are multiple topics what I hear over and over again, but I think one of the maybe two of the most specific ones is integrations. So how do we validate and test the integrations? And the second one is test data management. How do we secure that test data is still working and operating in the whole flow? So from one system to the other system to the other system. And then we can refer back to the previous session, the data virtualization and system virtualization. How does that work? We need to think smart and strategically how to use all these kind of tools in the previous sessions. And all these tools needs to come together in that vision, in that strategy to deploy your SAP system.
Yeah, and that's also like the final questions. Okay, the field, to me, it's a lot of problems.
Well, I would say a lot of challenges.
A lot of challenges. Thank you. And as an organization, you are in an old version of SAP, and you're going to move to S/4HANA.
Yeah.
You are in that room, and you're going to convince them in an easy way. 1, 2, 3. What should they do?
Well, I think one of the key takeaways also from this TestExpo is we just launched TMAP Quality Engineering for SAP. People who don't know, TMAP is the body of knowledge for testing and quality engineering. We deepened that with our SAP experience, and this is tailored for key users and people in operation and maintenance teams, because often these teams are accepting the end solution in SAP. They need to work with it day-to-day basis. So if I engage these people, these groups, into testing, exactly for the user acceptance test. But most of the time, these people are too occupied, too busy, production work is there. They don't test effectively or efficiently. So now we have this TMAP Quality Engineering for SAP dedicated for them to give them heads up to speed. How do you do SAP testing? So I would recommend people to take a look at the booth as well, how to do that.
And one thing is, you can go to the Sogeti website and download the report. That's
here
still a step ahead.
Now, maybe to finish off this small podcast, as Sogeti, I don't know where the camera is. We don't have a camera. We created a world quality report based on SAP solutions. A lot of organizations are interviewed there, and there's a survey about how they manage their quality and quality engineering. Really recommend to read this report, and it gives you a lot of tips, ideas, and suggestions how you can make the next step in quality engineering.
Thank you, Pepijn.
Thank you very much.